Hi friends, good morning. Welcome to TP Chennai. In my previous videos, we have seen many questions which is related with SBI clerical prelims level examination. Right? We have covered number series, wrong number, arithmetic questions, DI, simplification questions, as well as approximation questions, along with quadratic equation. Today we will see last year SBI clerical mains level examination questions. So in this video we will see 5 questions from data sufficiency and 3 to 4 questions from arithmetic. So then in the next videos we will see some questions whatever they have asked last year in data interpretation. So in this video we will see 5 questions from data sufficiency. So first of all, what is the meaning of data sufficiency? Data sufficiency is nothing but they will ask you one question followed by 2 or 3 statements will be there. So for example, in this question they have given you one question followed by 2 statements are there. Data sufficiency means you are not supposed to calculate. You need to imagine by seeing the statement. That means by seeing the statement, can you able to get the answer? That means statement 1 is given, statement 2 is given, right, from question. So you need to see, can you able to get the answer from the statement 1 alone, or can you able to get the answer from statement 2 alone, or can you able to get the answer from either statement 1 alone, or can you able to get the answer from the statement 2 alone, or can you able to get the answer by combining both statement 1 and 2. That means you need both statement 1 and 2 to answer the question, or statement 1 and 2 together is not sufficient. That means if you merge both statement 1 and 2 also, you will not be able to get the answer, right? But remember, you are not supposed to find out the answer. You have to check, can you able to get the answer or not. It's a very tricky chapter, very important chapter, especially nowadays in examination they will ask questions in mains level examination, right? So I am seeing the first question here, and exact question they asked last year in SBI clerical mains level examination 2020. Find the value of y, right? Find the value of y. So statement 1, Raj and Rahul invest their amount in scheme 1 which offers simple interest at 10% per annum. So when I read the first statement, what I found is they are asking find the value of y, but nowhere in the first statement they have mentioned anything about y. That means statement 1 is not sufficient. It's not sufficient, right? Come to statement 2. Raj invests rupees 3000 in scheme 1 and Rahul invests rupees y in scheme 1. Okay, they have given principal of Raj and they have given principal of Rahul. So Raj principal is rupees 3000. Okay, Rahul principal is rupees y. Okay, difference between interest received by Raj and Rahul is rupees 800. Don't do unnecessary mistake here, right? What they have mentioned in the second statement, they have mentioned investment of Raj and investment of Rahul, because why they are asking you to calculate and why they have given you. Then they are saying difference between interest received by Raj and Rahul is rupees 1800. But the problem is in the statement 2, time is not given. Time is not given. And when time is not given, even this statement alone, we can't able to get the answer. When you are not getting the answer from the first statement, when you are not getting the answer from the second statement, even if you combine also, you are not going to get the answer. That means my answer is fourth option. Both statement 1 and 2 together is not sufficient to answer the question. So I hope you are clear with the first question. Now we will see second question which they are asking data sufficiency. If each box contains balls of only 2 colors, that is red and green. So there are 2 boxes, right, where you have red and green balls. The number of red balls in box 1 is approximately what percent of number of green balls in box 1, right? This is the question. Statement 1, the number of red balls in box 2 is 10% more than that of number of red balls in box 1, right? So when you see the first statement here, so you have 2 balls, right? So you have red and green. I am considering for statement 1. right? So you have first and two boxes are there, right, where you have red and green balls. Number of red balls in box 2 is 10% more than number of red balls in box 1. So if here you have 10% fraction value is 1 by 10. So if this is 10x, this is 11x, because 10% more. So can you able to get the answer from the first statement? Then they are saying that number of balls in box 1 and 2 total is nothing but 180 and 203. So total they have given you, right? Total they have given you. Okay. So number of balls in box. So from the first statement you will not be able to get the answer. Second one, the number of green balls in box 2 is 15% more than that number of green balls in box 1. So number of green balls in box 2 is 15% more. So if number of green balls in box 1 is 15% fraction value is 3 by 20. If this is 20y, this is 23. Number of green balls in box 2 is more. Okay, so 23y, right? And total number of balls in box 1 and 2 is 180 and 203. Okay, so here you are having 180. Here you are having 203. Now, first statement you are not going to get the answer. Second statement, number of green balls in box 2 is 15% more than number of green balls in box 1. So here they have given you this thing only. In the first statement they have given you these two. In the second statement they have given you these two. So from the first statement alone you will not be able to get the answer. In the second statement alone you will not be able to get the answer, because only they have given you percentage value. Now when you merge these two statements, so that means you will be having two equations. 10x plus 20y is equal to 180 and 11x plus 23y is equal to 203. So when you combine both the statement, you will be getting the answer. You are not supposed to calculate, but you will be getting the answer. So what is the answer? Both statement 1 and 2 together is required, which is fifth option. So I hope you are clear with the second question. Now we will see third one. Find the height of the cylinder. This is the question. Statement 1. The height of a cylinder is 5 cm more than radius of the cylinder. So the height of a cylinder is 5 cm more than radius of a cylinder. Okay. Second statement. The curved surface area of cylinder is 528 cm square and total surface area of cylinder is 836 cm square. Now when you see the first statement, the height of a cylinder is 5 cm more than radius of a cylinder. So when you see the first statement here, height is 5 cm more. That means h is equal to r plus 5. This is from the first statement. Can you able to get the answer from the first statement? No. You can't able to get the answer. You can't able to get the height. Second one. The curved surface area of a cylinder is 528 cm square and total surface area of a cylinder is 836 cm square. What is curved surface area of a cylinder? Curved surface area of a cylinder is nothing but 2 pi RH, and that is nothing but how much they have given you? 528. Then total surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r into h plus r, and that is nothing but 836. Can you able to get the answer from the second statement alone? Yes, you can, because if you divide this equation, 2 pi r will be cancelled, right? And even you can get the answer without dividing also, right? If you substitute 2 pi rh, if you break this number 2 pi rh and if you keep 528 here, you will be getting radius. Again, if you substitute in any one of the equation, you will be getting height. That means second statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. So my answer is nothing but second option. Second statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. So I hope you are clear with third question. Now we'll see fourth one. Find the length of train P. Right? This is the question. Statement 1. Train P and train Q running in opposite direction and crosses each other in 15 seconds, and train P crosses a pole in 8 seconds. Right? So very interesting question here. Train P and train Q running in opposite direction. Whenever two trains are running in opposite direction, what will be the distance covered by the train? It is nothing but length of both the train, which is L1 plus L2. which I am assuming here. I am assuming length of train P is L1 and length of train Q is L2 and crosses each other in 15 seconds. Whenever two trains are running in opposite direction, what will be the relative speed? It is nothing but sum of the speed. So when you see the first statement here, I can say speed is equal to distance by time, right? So or distance is equal to speed into time. So speed is, so length is nothing. So speed is or time is equal to distance by speed, right? Distance is L1 plus L2 and speed is nothing but S1 plus S2 and time is nothing but how much? 15 seconds. Then train P crosses a pole in 8 seconds. So whenever a train is crossing a pole, what is the distance covered by the train? Length of the train itself, which is L1 divided by S1 is equal to 8. This is from the first statement. Can I able to get the length of train P which is L1? No, I can't able to get. Second statement. The sum of the speed of train P and train Q is 120 km per hour. That means S1 plus S2 is nothing but 120. Can I able to get the answer from the second statement alone? No. Now I need to combine and check. So when you combine first and second statement, S1 plus S2 is 120. If you keep here also, you are not going to get L1 plus L2, right? You are not going to get L1 plus L2. You are not going to get L1. You will be getting L1 plus L2. But what we are asking, find the length of train P, which is L1. Even if you combine first and second also, you are not going to get the answer. So what is my answer? Both statement 1 and 2 together is not sufficient. So which is nothing but fourth option, right? Which is nothing but fourth option. So I hope you clear with the fourth question. Now we'll see fifth one. Find the sum of ages of Ram and Shyam. This is the question. Statement 1. Ratio of ages of Ram and Shyam is 4:5 and the ratio of ages of Ram and Rahul is 5:3. And sum of the ages of Ram, Shyam and Rahul is 57 years. So if you know the concept of ages, you can say that, so ratio of Ram, Shyam is 4:5 and ratio of Ram and Rahul. So 3 persons are there totally in the picture according to the first statement. And all the 3 persons ratios are indirectly given. Ram and Shyam is 4:5 and Ram and Rahul is 5:3. So you can merge and you can get Ram, Shyam and Rahul from the first statement. And sum of the ages of Ram, Shyam and Rahul is also given. That means from the first statement alone I can able to get the answer. Right? Because from the ratio we can solve because sum is also given. Second one, statement 2. Difference between the age of Ram and Rahul is 8 years and average age of Ram, Shyam and Rahul is 38 years. Difference between Ram and Rahul. So one thing is here in the statement. Difference between the age of Ram and Rahul is 8 years, but in the statement 2 they have not mentioned who is elder. That means here itself we can say that statement 2 is not sufficient. So my answer will be statement 1. Statement 1 is sufficient to answer the question, which is nothing but first option. So I hope you clear with all 5 data sufficiency questions and you got some idea also how to solve. Now we will see 3 questions from arithmetic which they have asked in SBI Clerical Mains Level Examination last year. So Rohit spent 15%, 20% and 25% of his monthly income on entertainment, traveling and medicine respectively and remaining of income on household. If difference between the expenditure on household and entertainment is rupees 16,800, find Rohit's monthly income. So here what they have given you key point. If difference between the expenditure on household and entertainment. So household is nothing but remaining part only. That means after spending 15%, 20%, 25% of his monthly income, remaining he spent on household. So if his income is 100, so he spent 15 plus 20, 35 plus 25, how much? 60%. Remaining is 40% on household. So 40% minus entertainment. Entertainment, what is the value? How much he spent? Entertainment he spent 15%. And this is how much they have given you? 16,800. So 40% minus 15% is 25%. And that is the thing about 16,800. Now what they are asking? Find the monthly income. Monthly income is 100%. That means here I am multiplying by 4. So here also I need to multiply by 4. So when you multiply, what is the answer? 67,200, which is nothing but second option. Second one, Rajat has to divide an amount of rupees 2,430 between A, B and C such that if their shares be reduced by rupees 5, rupees 10, rupees 15, then remainder will be the ratio of 3:4:5. Find the share of B. Very simple one. So he has an amount of 2430 which he is going to divide among A, B, C in such a way that their shares will be reduced by rupees 5, rupees 10, rupees 15. So total how much share is reduced among A, B, C? 5 plus 10 plus 15, which is nothing but how much? 30. So subtract 30 from rupees 2430. So which is nothing but 2,400. Now this is divided among, this is a remainder which is divided among A, B, C in 3:4:5. Now they are asking share of B. B part is 4. So 4 divided by total 12 into 2,400, which is 800. But this is not the answer because they are asking find the share of B. This amount is after reducing. So they have not reduced 10 in B. It will be how much? Rupees 810. So my answer is fourth option, 810, not 800. 800 is also given in the first option. My actual answer is fourth option, 810. So I hope you clear with the first two arithmetic question. Now we will see third one. Alloy A has gold and copper in the ratio 5:3 and alloy B has gold and zinc in the ratio 1:7. These two alloys are mixed such that gold is 14.2/7% of the final mixture. Then find the ratio of copper and zinc in the final mixture. Very important question of ratio, right? So alloy A has gold and copper in the ratio. So there are two alloys. So I am writing here alloy A, I am writing here alloy B, right? Alloy A has gold and copper and alloy B has gold and silver, gold and zinc, sorry, right? So alloy A, if this is 5x, this is 3x, right? Alloy B is having gold and zinc in the ratio 1:7, which is nothing but y:7y, because both are different. Now these two alloys you are mixing such that gold is 14.2/7% of the final mixture. What is 14.2/7% fraction value? 1/7, right? I am mixing here, so gold only, right? So 5x plus y divided by total here is 8x and total here is 8y, and that is nothing but 1/7. Do cross multiplication. 8x plus 8y is equal to 35x plus 7y, right? Transpose here. 27x is equal to y, right? So y, just keep 27x here. So what they are asking, find the ratio of copper and zinc. Copper and zinc. So copper is nothing but 3x, right? And zinc. So zinc 7y. So 7y is nothing but 27x, right? So I am writing here copper and zinc. And zinc is 7 into 27x. X cancel, and this is 9 times. So my answer is 1:63, which is nothing but third option, right? So I hope you clear with 5 data sufficiency questions and 3 arithmetic questions. And these questions were last year SBI Clerical Mains Level Examination. I hope you got idea also how they have asked questions, and some questions were easy and some questions were tricky one. So whenever it comes to mains level examination, you have to choose the question, which question you have to follow. So in my next video, we will see 2 or 3 set of DI what they have asked in SBI Clerical Mains Level Examination. So prepare well. All the best. Thank you.